Anyways, I'm a bit of a closet wrestling fan. And by that I mean this is in my closet. I'm what you would consider a casual. You know, I don't watch every single weekly program. I only tune in for the pay-per-views, the PLEs, you know. But anyways, the thing is, that was my thing as a kid. So it's kind of baked into me that I love it very much and I hold it very near and dear. I know for a lot of people it's Harry Potter or Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, whatever. For me, it was wrestling. And so I get that I have a lot more background knowledge on it than other people do, right? But with that comes the burden of being very pissed off when other people talk about it and have no idea what they're talking about. And it happens every once in a while with wrestling, whether it be the Benoit tragedy or most recently the Rajah Jackson incident, where a lot of people start talking about wrestling, you know, and they're talking completely out of their ass. And then I boil over, I turn red, because this is my childhood that you're talking about.
It's still real to me, damn it!
So today I have two goals. One, I'm gonna teach you guys a little something about wrestling. And two, I'm gonna give you a little English lesson. So, fake. Let's talk about the word fake, all right? The word fake should just be taken out of all of our lexicon, all right? Stop using the word fake, because the thing is with the word fake, it's a cop-out. It's a complete cop-out. The word fake is never, ever the best word that you could be using to describe something. All right, so fake shoes. Fake shoes. What's a fake shoe? You know, it's a real shoe, right? You can put it on your feet, you wear it, you walk around with it, it protects your feet. Hey, you're meaning a knockoff, you know? It's off-brand is what you're trying to say. You're being lazy by using the word fake. All right, money. Fake money. What is fake money? Are you talking about fake money as in a board game, a plain money, Monopoly money? Or are you talking about fake money as in like movie money that says motion picture money on it? Or are you talking about fake money as in, you know, the money that's passed off as real money, which is counterfeit money? You see what I'm saying? It's never the best word. Fake boobs. Just because you put an implant in a real boob doesn't make it a fake boob. When you're talking about wrestling, you can call it planned, you can call it scripted, you can call it predetermined, but fake is not the right word. And I'll tell you exactly why. Yeah, but it's on TV, so it's fake, right? No, it's a real show at a live venue that you can get tickets to go see. Hey, that guy, what's his name? Oh, that's Triple H. But he's a real person. Well, his real name is Paul, but he exists, if that's what you're asking. Whoa, he just slammed that guy. Was that fake? Well, the guy knew it was coming, and he kind of helps carry his own weight, but you know, you can't fake gravity, so. Yeah, but surely the ring is like soft, right? Actually, no, it's just wooden boards with the shitty mat over top. Whoa, was that chair fake? Nope, real chair. All right, but the blood's fake, right? Nah, he's really bleeding. Is that a fake table? What the fuck is a fake table? See? Y'all thought these was tables. They're my fucking yoga mats. Now, like I said, I understand that not everybody was like me, right? Not as a kid, you weren't all watching wrestling every week. You know, you weren't watching on YouTube Scam School or Breaking the Magician's Code, right? So I understand that I have a lot more background knowledge in this than everybody else does. But the thing about wrestling is, it's blurring the lines between fiction and reality. And a lot of people can't tell the difference if they haven't been, you know, cued into what's going on. So allow me to unblur the lines for you, all right? First things first, this Rajah Jackson incident, right? I understand what he did in the ring. I'm not talking about that, all right? That's disgraceful. But what happened before that? The whole can incident, right?
Hey, I think that's a little...
Oh, you don't show it? Easy.
It's aluminum. It's thin. It's gonna explode. It's not a big deal, all right? It doesn't hurt you. Maybe it'll give you a little bit of a headache, but it is not the end-all be-all, right? I don't have, or I do, but I'm not going to hit a can on my head indoors, but I have a little bit of something else for you guys. So let's just say, right, hard surface right here, right? And instead I have a can of green beans. All right, it's full. What if I were to just put my finger right here and I don't know, just, no. You know why? Because it's fucking aluminum, all right? What about, like, here's the thing. Take that same logic, right? The whole thing with wrestling is thin metal, right? Take this same logic and apply it to the trash cans that you see in wrestling. Hey, guess what? Oops. It's a thin metal. These things are not made to be durable. They are made to be destroyed. So and same goes for the tables. The tables you see in wrestling. Here's the thing. It's not a fake table, right? Because what is a fake table? Can I not sit down at a table from wrestling and have a good meal? Oh, can that table not hold a 200-pound man? But that table's not made out of good materials, it's going to explode on impact.
I mean, look at this.
You see what I'm saying? Why fake isn't the right word about these things? You see what I'm saying about these props? They're not props. It's a real table if you want to say it's a real table. There's plenty of things that I could go into IKEA and build them just like the directions say and still body slam a 200-pound man through it. Now consider the ladders as well, all right? The ladders are not fake either. They're not, all right? They are real ladders because what's a fake ladder? They used to make ladders out of wood, right? And that's what I believe they make them out of today, at least in the WWE. I know other promotions might use metal ladders, and they used to all use metal ladders, but now when you see a ladder break, that's a wooden ladder. You can see the splinters, you can see the wood.
He's not gonna do that.
It is wood ladders painted silver to look like metal. But does that make it any less of a real ladder? You know what I mean? It's weird. You can't call it a fake ladder. The word that you guys are looking for is gimmicked. That's what they call these things in wrestling. When something is made not durable, when something's made not to last, when it's made to be destroyed, it's called gimmicked. And something real can even be gimmicked. You know, it could be a real chair with a few bolts taken out of it so that it collapses. Whatever it is gimmicked. But the word fake just doesn't work in the context of wrestling. Sledgehammers and bats, they're less of are they real? Are they made out of real materials? And more so, where do they hit people with them? You know, they aren't allowed to hit people in the heads anymore because of CTE and guys going apeshit. So instead, now they hit guys in the stomach or they hit them in the back, something like that. Or if it's a baseball bat like Sting, he usually hits people in the leg, which ironically you have a bone about the size of a baseball bat, so you can absorb that shit. So again, the key with wrestling is things ain't gonna feel good, but it ain't gonna kill you. Guitars are the one thing in wrestling that are 100% fake. They're always breakaway. You will never see a real guitar in wrestling unless your name is Jake the Snake Roberts, in which case you just get paralyzed. Barbed wire is almost never faked. You know, they might clip off the sharp ends. The big difference is that it's not razor wire, it is barbed wire. But if you think I'm lying about barbed wire being real, just take a look at Sabu. That shit was legit. Now, everything else I talk about on this list, I want to make very clear. Everything else is real, 100% legit. Starting off with the ring. Oddly enough, I have actually in my life helped set up a wrestling ring. And I can tell you firsthand, that thing is a metal frame with wooden boards across it, with a terrible, shitty, thin mat, and then a very harsh canvas over top of it. It does not feel good to land on. You get rush burn. It sucks. It does not feel good. It ain't your mama's mattress, and it ain't a trampoline. Light bulbs are one of those very weird things in wrestling that you don't see a lot in big promotions, but you see a lot in the indies. And they're also 100% real, all right? They are real glass, they are real light bulbs, and if you're wondering, how do they not get cut? They do, and they're okay with it, because little secret, I don't know how people don't know this yet, wrestlers cut themselves.
And he turns around, digs.
Runs the blade coast to coast right as the camera zoomed in on his forehead.
Somehow there's already blood smeared on the chair.
God.
And yes, there's a good way to do it and a bad way to do it. And if you don't believe me, take a look at Abdullah the Butcher. Oh, but surely they wouldn't hit each other with real chairs.
Get it. Oh, turnabout is fair.
Yes, the chairs are real, completely real. And like I said, it is the thinness of the metal that allows people to get away with that. Next we have this little bastard. Because some people think that there's a good way or a safe way or even a way to fake taking a bump on thumbtacks. I'm here to tell you, thumbtacks are 100% real in wrestling. There's no safe way to do it. There's no good way to do it. It sucks every single time. We've all stepped on something sharp. We've all felt this kind of pain. Nothing's good about it. But again, it is not fake. There's nothing fake about this. All right? See that? It's really in there. This ain't no bullshit. This ain't no fucking movie bullshit. Finally, we have my favorite thing, fire. Because fire has this weird phenomenon about it where if you don't act like a bitch, you won't get hurt. And this goes with a lot of things. If you ever mess with heavy machinery, they tell you don't hesitate or that's how you get hurt. If you ever mess with animals, they tell you not to hesitate because that's how you get hurt. Same thing goes with fire. Fire is one of those things where if you just know what you're doing, you'll be fine. If you don't know what you're doing, you will get f***ed up. Ta-da! So yeah, with that said, that's all I really care about. If you come correct, you can criticize what I like as much as you want. But it's the people who don't know what they're talking about that pisses me off. And here's the thing, I'll educate you even further. If you really need something to diss wrestling about, I'll let you know, all right? How about the bark like a dog segment? You know, a wildly offensive segment to women everywhere that's only gotten worse due to Vince McMahon's recent circumstances. What about Mae Young's hand? All right, how about that? Mae Young, an 80-something-year-old lady, actually got impregnated by Mark Henry, World's Strongest Man, who at the time was going by the name Sexual Chocolate, actually impregnated this lady and gave birth to a hand. That's some real shit that happened in the land of wrestling. What about Katie Vick? All right, I don't even want to talk about that one. And I know people are gonna be like, oh, those are just WWE examples. All right, fine. How about Raven's crucifixion? Do we have to talk about that? Oh, how about the time that Abyss literally murdered Rob Van Dam? How about that? Or as far as I'm concerned, anything that's ever involved David Arquette. Oh, and for the AEW fans, exploding barbed wire death match.
Take cover! Get him over! No! Kick the... Oh my... Oh my God!
The f was that? Wrestling is one of those things that can be very silly and stupid, and wrestling fans themselves will admit that it is very stupid, and we even hate wrestling sometimes. But at the end of the day, these guys are some of the toughest people that walk the planet, and you would not have the balls to do what they do. Even 80-year-old Mae Young getting powerbombed off the stage on the concrete. You will never be that tough. You will never be as gangster as this 80-year-old lady. All right, so if you want to criticize wrestling, at least come correct. And always remember, you're still a bitch.